Last July, my AC died, right in the middle of the hottest week of the summer. The repair quote? $4,000. I didn't pay it. Instead, I spent $11, 2 hours in my garage, and 64 empty soda cans, and I dropped my bedroom temperature by 12 degrees. No electricity, no refrigerant, no moving parts. Now, before you click away thinking this is some clickbait nonsense, I put a calibrated fluke thermometer in that room. I ran the test for 6 straight days, and I want to show you exactly what happened, why it works, and how you can build one this weekend. Because this isn't a trick, it's physics, and it's been sitting in textbooks since 1852. Here's what's wild. This idea didn't come from some garage inventor. It was documented by a NASA thermal engineer. And then, completely independently, it was proven at scale in one of the hottest places on Earth. In 2014, an inventor named Ashish Paul, working with a social business initiative in Bangladesh, created something called the Eco Cooler. The design looked almost too simple to be real. A flat board, rows of plastic bottles cut in half, wide end facing out, narrow end facing into the room. No fan, no power, nothing. In villages made of corrugated metal, where summer temperatures hit 113 degrees Fahrenheit, indoor temperatures dropped by an average of 9 degrees Fahrenheit. Families who couldn't sleep through the night suddenly could. The BBC covered it, Reuters covered it. It was installed in over 25,000 homes in the first year, and then the coverage just stopped. Paul's version used plastic bottles, which work, but aluminum cans work significantly better. And that's where the real story starts, because aluminum conducts heat roughly 1,175 times better than plastic. So instead of just constricting airflow, the cans are actively pulling heat out of the air passing through them. That's the upgrade. That's what we're building today. I know what some of you are thinking right now. The second law of thermodynamics says you can't create cold out of nothing. This has to be fake. And you're right, that you can't create cold out of nothing. But that is not what's happening here. Do this right now. Put your hand in front of your mouth. Open your mouth wide and breathe out. Warm, right? Now purse your lips tight and blow. Cold. Same lungs. Same air. Different result. That's called the Joule-Thomson Effect, documented in 1852. When air is forced through a constriction from a wide opening to a narrow one, it accelerates and its temperature drops on the other side. The energy input isn't zero. It comes from the natural pressure differential that already exists between your warm house and the outside air. The can array just gives that movement a structure. And here's the part that genuinely surprised me. A research team at the University of Toronto ran controlled tests specifically on aluminum can arrays. Their published results showed temperature drops of 8 to 14 degrees Fahrenheit depending on humidity and wind speed, 8 to 14 degrees, from cans you were about to throw in the recycling bin. There's also a second mechanism at play, passive radiative cooling. When you coat the exterior face of the array with a specific high reflectivity white paint, the aluminum surface radiates heat outward at infrared wavelengths that actually escape through Earth's atmosphere into space. Stanford University published research on this in 2014 proving that properly designed passive radiative surfaces can drop below the surrounding air temperature even in direct sunlight. Both effects are happening simultaneously in a well-built can array. That's why the performance numbers look the way they do. All right, let's get into the build. Here's everything you need. Materials: 64 to 80 empty 12-ounce aluminum cans, rinsed and fully dried. Any residual sugar will attract insects and smell within 2 weeks, so rinse them well. 1 piece of 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch plywood, cut to fit snugly inside your window frame. A utility knife or rotary tool to cut the bottoms off cleanly. A drill with a 3/4 inch bit to widen the pop tab opening at the top of each can. Waterproof construction adhesive. Marine-grade polyurethane works best for long-term durability outdoors. Foam weather stripping to seal the perimeter. Titanium dioxide white exterior paint. Look for high reflectivity on the label at any hardware store. Total cost, roughly $11 to $15 depending on what you already have. Assembly. Step 1. Cut the bottoms off each can. Wear gloves. Aluminum edges are sharp. Step 2. Drill out the top opening to about 3/4 inch in diameter. This widens the constriction point and optimizes the airflow. Step 3. Arrange your cans on the plywood in a tight grid, all with the cut bottoms facing the same direction. For a standard window, an 8x8 grid of 64 cans works well. Step 4. Glue them down with the construction adhesive. Let it cure for a full 24 hours. Don't rush this step. Step 5. Paint the entire exterior side with the titanium dioxide white paint. This activates the radiative cooling effect. Step 6. Install the finished panel in your window with the wide open bottoms facing outside and the narrow top openings facing into the room. Seal all the gaps with weather stripping so air is forced through the cans rather than around them. That's it. The physics does the rest. Build time from start to install, about 2 hours. My total material cost was $11.40. I want to give you the real numbers, not the best case scenario. I installed my array on a Tuesday afternoon. Outside temp, 94 degrees. Indoor temp in the bedroom, with the AC off, 89 degrees. Within 40 minutes, the indoor temperature had dropped to 77 degrees. I left it in place for 6 straight days during a heat wave. The bedroom stayed between 74 and 78 degrees. My electric bill that month was $84 lower than the same month the previous year. On the third night, a thunderstorm came through, and the outside temperature dropped to 68. The bedroom dropped to 71. The passive system was tracking ambient temperature automatically without any input from me. No thermostat, no controls. Just geometry and physics. Now I want to be honest about what it doesn't do, because I'm not trying to sell you anything here. It works best when there's at least a slight breeze outside, around 3 miles per hour. In completely still air, the temperature drop reduces to about 4 or 5 degrees. It also performs better in lower humidity climates. If you're in Florida or coastal Texas in August, you'll see a reduced effect. Maybe 3 to 4 degrees instead of 10 to 12. But here's the thing. Even 4 degrees matters enormously when the grid is down, when you can't afford to run a compressor, or when you're just trying to make one room livable during a heat dome. The difference between 92 degrees and 96 degrees is the difference between uncomfortable and medically dangerous, especially for kids and elderly family members. A single array handles one room. For a whole house, you'd build one per window in each room you want to cool, but at $11 to $15 per unit, you can do every window in a 2,000 square foot home for less than the deductible on a single HVAC service call. If you're in a high humidity region, don't skip this part. It makes a real difference. The cooling effect of the can array is reduced by roughly 30 to 40% when relative humidity exceeds 75%. This is because part of the mechanism involves a small evaporative effect from condensation on the interior aluminum surfaces, and that slows down when the air is already saturated. The fix is simple. Pair the array with a desiccant tray. Get a shallow container, a baking dish works fine, and fill it with calcium chloride pellets. You can find these at any hardware store, sold for basement moisture control or ice melt, for about $8 per pound. Place the tray in the room. Calcium chloride aggressively absorbs moisture from the air, which dramatically improves both the cooling performance and how the temperature feels to the people in the room. Replace the pellets every few weeks depending on humidity levels. The used pellets can be dissolved in water and poured down the drain. For maximum performance in any climate, install a second array on the opposite side of the room or in a second window to create a crossflow effect. 2 arrays working together can reach temperature drops of up to 20 degrees Fahrenheit under optimal conditions. I've been asked a lot about how these hold up over time, so let me give you the honest answer from 2 full summers of running mine. The aluminum itself does not degrade. Aluminum oxide naturally forms a thin protective layer on the surface within hours of exposure to air. That's actually what gives the cans their slight matte finish after a few weeks. It doesn't flake, it doesn't weaken, and it doesn't affect airflow. The one thing that does require attention is the adhesive. On my first build, I used standard polyurethane construction adhesive, and after 14 months of direct afternoon sun, a few cans on the top row had loosened slightly. I pulled them off, cleaned the surface, and reattached them with marine-grade polyurethane from a boat supply store. About $9. That application has now been in place through 2 full summers without any issues. The manufacturer rates it for 15 years of continuous UV exposure. Use the marine-grade adhesive from the start and you won't have to do this twice. There are no moving parts, no refrigerant, no compressor, nothing that breaks in a mechanical sense. The system is geometric. It works because of its shape, and shapes don't wear out. Here's why I think this matters beyond just saving money on electricity, and why it fits what we're doing here on Homestead Builders specifically. Real self-sufficiency means your systems work when everything else fails. Central AC goes down in a heat wave. What's your backup? When the grid goes down, when parts are on back order, when a repair costs more than you have, what do? This is a cooling system that costs $11, builds in 2 hours, runs silently with zero power, and outlasts every mechanical component of a central air system. It works during blackouts. It works when you can't afford a repair call. And it works because of principles that have been understood for over 170 years. The average American household spends around $2,000 per year on cooling alone. Over 30 years, that's $60,000 to $87,000 flowing out of your pocket and into the utility company. Reducing your cooling load by even 30 to 40%, a conservative estimate based on what I've seen, saves you over $800 a year. The initial investment for a whole house setup is $33 and a Saturday afternoon. That is what real homesteading looks like. Not dependency on expensive equipment with a 12-year lifespan. Durable, simple solutions that you built yourself with materials you already had. The next heat wave is coming. Grid operators have already issued warnings about potential rolling blackouts this summer across multiple states. Electricity prices have risen 27% in the last 4 years, and there's no sign of that reversing. You can respond to that by spending more money on equipment that depends on the grid, or you can spend an afternoon building something that works regardless. Build the array, put a thermometer in the room. Let the physics show you what I'm talking about. If you do build one, drop your results in the comments. I want to see your numbers. And if you want the dehumidifier companion build and the crossflow setup walkthrough, that's coming in the next video. Subscribe so you don't miss it. I'll see you in the next one.